In this video, you will see how we grow mimosa trees, just like this tree. What we do is we go through our nursery and we look at trees that we are already growing. These are Leland cypresses. And underneath the Leland cypresses in the pots, we find little mimosa trees sometimes growing up in the potting soil. It's a very rich mix, and it's moist and damp, and it's perfect growing conditions for seeds to sprout. And here, up underneath this Leland cypress, are tiny little mimosa trees. Now, what I do is I go around and I just scout these trees and find out where the little mimosas are growing. And then I slowly clear away the area so that I can get to the trees. And I reach my hand in and I start to pull them out. I carefully grab them so that I get as much of the roots as I can. First, clearing out the weed seeds in there, because I don't want those. Throw those away, the weeds, and then grab a hold of the mimosas. There's a clump of mimosas, and those will be real good trees to grow. Here they are in my hand. Now the trick here is to keep them from drying out. So I have them in a little potting mix right here, and I want to keep these roots moist. This is very important because these little critters can dry out immediately. So while I'm storing them in my greenhouse where I'm potting them up, I cover them up just slightly with some potting soil, some loose potting soil that's very fine and aerated. It allows moisture to go in easily. I start by loading a pot up with potting soil, filling it to the top, and just making sure there's a little bit of free space on the top. I grab a hold of the little mimosa and I stick it in the soil. Now, I have quite a few of them to do, and I'm going to do a bunch of them in this pot because after they root out a little bit better, I'm going to take them out of the pots again and put them in a larger pot. And as you can see, there's some real tiny little mimosas here, but they'll grow. It's easy to grow mimosa. And once you learn how to do one tree, there are literally thousands of other kinds of trees that you can also propagate. These mimosas will grow readily. Now again, the trick is to keep them moist. Don't let them dry out, because if they dry out, they're gone. And in this potting media, these materials dry out quickly. So you have to be careful that they don't dry out. Now I just top it off a little bit just so that it has a little bit of potting soil on top of this so that I make sure that I get the roots well covered. And I just tap it down gently, gently, gently. And then when this is finished, I'll take these little potted plants and I'll put them under a little bit of a drip system. And here is where we do that. We set up all these little pots, and what I have is I have a hose, and the hose just drips on top of another plant, and the drip makes a little bit of a splash, and that splash will keep them moist. And here behind this tree is a little bit of a mimosa that I grew about a month ago. Yes, these mimosas can all be grown from little seedlings that you grab out of the ground and cost you virtually nothing. If you have any questions, give us a call at Highland Hill Farm. Come to Highland Hill Farm and see our farm operations and learn how we grow lots and lots of trees. Also, while you're there, you can see our mineral collection, fossil collection, and native Indian artifacts that we have on display.